guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm filming for you a revision tips, how to revise kind of video, because this got requested a lot after my sixth form video, which, guys, you guys use equals bays when it comes to that video. But it would be more relevant when it was coming up to exam season and people would appreciate it more. So, seeing as I have January exams this year, and I know a few people do, even if you're in secondary school, this will so help you for June. Just make sure to come on back, and so you remember to come on back. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here. But I'm just going to basically talk you through a couple ways which I revised, which really helped me really pick up and improve my grades between year 12 and year 13, and how I'm revising now for my January exams in university. Whether this method will work for university, I guess we'll find out when I get my results, but they definitely did work for me for sixth form. I'm the kind of learner where I like things to be cute, I like things to be colourful, I like my work to be organised into folders and all that kind of jazz, because it really helps me to remember things. I personally like to have different notebooks, preferably different colours, where I work through things, because it helps me remember things better. So the first thing that I do is I have folders. So this is just a red folder. This is my maths folder. It's just a plain red folder. It's from Poundland actually. So this is where I keep all my lecture notes, and I tend to annotate these. And then this is where I keep all my homework. So I can just clip this out and take it with me when I have to go and hand in homework, or if I'm going to a tutorial where we're going to go through the homework. So this is my maths folder, and having this is my economics folder, which I actually don't have a lot in because economics, we don't get many handouts and we don't have to print out lecture notes like in maths. If you're anything like me, I would really advise you to get separate folders. It will just help you keep organised, and more than keeping organised, I feel like it will just help you get into a habit of just organising your brain. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like I'm able to receive things and I'm more receptive to things I'm trying to learn. Whereas before, when I wasn't really an organised person, my brain just felt like really scattered and all over the place. So the next thing I do is I have a diary, a planner. Guys, get a planner. Like, daily goals are so important, so that you don't go for a whole day having not achieved anything. However, when I say that, Netflix and ice cream, they're goals. Some days you actually need to stay in your bed, you need to catch up with Empire, you need to find a new TV show, you need to finish being Mary Jane, and you need to eat strawberry cheesecake, Haagen-Dazs, ice cream. On days where you actually need to get up, get things done, write down, I need to do my financial reporting homework, I need to hand in my mathematics homework, I need to do this quiz online, I need to sign up for blah 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 blah. And as you tick it off, you will feel so accomplished. Like, well, you can never say you didn't know you had to do something, because I feel like that's the worst. When you go to seminar and they're like, okay, everyone get out get out your notes for this business article and discuss, and you're just like, shit, I didn't know I had to do that. Sixth form babies, planners helped me so much, honestly. Like, every time I had extra class, extra, like, what were they called? Booster classes, anytime I had a piece of coursework, planners helped me meet my deadlines, honestly, because deadlines, they are so important. Like, some people try to find ways around deadlines, like, how can I kind of give this in late without my teacher really noticing? Okay, fair enough. You might think in that moment it's going to benefit you and you're going to get a better grade because you'll have more time, but in the long run it really won't benefit you. Learning how to meet deadlines is a very, very important skill, and I advise you pick it up from early, because in uni they don't care if you don't give it in. Like, they don't care in the sense that they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, Kim, you did not give in that piece of work. They will just collect the people who did and give you a 0. Like, they won't even discuss the 0 with you. Like, you will just find out one day that you got a 0 in that piece of work. Next things next is flashcards. I love flashcards, guys. I'm so excited today. But flashcards really, really helped me during my A-levels. I think it's just the fact that they're portable and I can carry them around, and if I'm actually bored, I will just look at them. I will just go through my flashcards. looking at things on pages with loads of information. I can do that. I love English, I love reading. So it's not about loads of words being on the page, but for things like accounting, there are quite a lot of calculations and ratios you need to remember. So putting them on a flashcard or putting definitions, like I have quite a few of these flashcards that say define, and then on the back there's like a definition for a word or something. So if you have a subject that has a lot of definitions, calculations, ratios, I would highly advise getting yourself some flashcards, because you can carry them around. Look at them. If you have a notice board like I do in my room, which I'm going to show you guys, you can also pin them up on the notice board, so you look at them every day, and you can make them as colourful as you like. As you can see, mine are quite plain, quite simple, but they're still kind of cute. So you can do anything you want with flashcards. I would really, really highly advise them. You can get flashcards from, if you're in the UK, I feel like everyone knows where they can get a flashcard from, but Wilkinson's does good flashcards, Ryman's, but they'll probably be overpriced. Pound Knife might have flashcards, I'm not sure, but I tend to go to Wilkinson's for everything when it comes. So post-it notes, if as you can see on my board from the clip that you will have seen, or you will see in a minute, I have post-it notes with ratios for accounting on them stuck onto my notice board, onto my timetable, so I see it every day. These are like 3 different colours. I also have a pink batch of post-it notes. Post-it notes are really handy for writing down things that your teachers tell you in like a spur of a moment. I always have a couple post-it notes on me at any time, so if my teacher tells me something that doesn't need to necessarily be written down into my planner, at the end of this you guys need to go to the building and pick up all your assignments that you haven't picked up. So I'll just write down, go pick up maths assignments on a post-it note and stick it onto the day it is in my planner. And then just so that I know when I put my planner, I remember, oh crap, I need to do this by 3 p.m. Once I don't know, I just unstick it, rip it up and put it in a bin or something. So it doesn't actually need to be written down into my planner, and I can scribble on it, not in neat writing, because in my planner I like to be neat, that's just how I am. But on post-it notes it can be like as scribbly as whatever, because you can just unstick it and throw it away. English literature students in 6th form, I used to write like little quotes I need to remember on my post-it notes, and they're just really handy because you can stick them anywhere. Like guys, please take these tips, like please, you can, I know this is like tips that you think are like nobody actually do this, but you can stick these post-it notes around like your mirror or like in your bathroom, somewhere where you always are, and whilst you're brushing your teeth, just look at them. Then literally consciously be like revising them and looking at them like, okay, but just looking at them every day, it will be in your brain because you've just seen it every day. Like, it's like when someone says to you, picture your house. You're there every day. You can pretty much picture every window in your house, every door in your house, every picture and where it is. Not because you stood there revising what picture was where, or where your dad's and mum's wedding picture is and where your albums are. You didn't stand and revise that stuff. You just walk past it and you're around it every day. So when you're around like a post-it note that has a specific ratio, a specific word on it every day, after a while, they're gonna be like, picture your bathroom, what do you see? And you'll be able to picture the little post-it notes that you put everywhere. And if you have it there for long enough, you'll be able to picture what's on the post-it notes. So I just think it will be a really good tip for you guys to start from early, especially you guys in 6th form, because they took away January exams, so all of our exams were in June. So if your 6th form is like that, then you guys have from now till June to do all of these tips and all of your exams. So please take the advice, because I want you to pass. And in August next year, I want us to have like a little congratulations results day video where literally we are just going to comment down below everything that we have done in our exams and how proud we are of each of ourselves, or just like congratulations on your exams video, and everyone comment and everyone say congratulations to each other. I just think it'll be so cute. I really want to do that next year. I really wanted to do that this year, and a couple of you guys told me like what you got in your GCSEs and what you got in your A-levels, and I congratulated you. I want like a whole video just dedicated to us congratulating each other. I think that'll be really, really cute. And my final tip is I'm such a notebook person. I don't have a Wilkinson's near me anymore. These are actually from Poundland, these hardback books. So this is the baby blue one, and this I have for my financial and digital innovations class. Sounds very professional, doesn't it? And I just write all my lecture notes in it, and then all of my like seminar notes as well. And I literally just love to take notes. You can just read over it every now and again. And I've also realised that to fill up a notebook is actually not easy. Like, I used to think that I was going to finish this, but I have quite a lot of space left in this notebook from one semester. So you can use the rest of it to just rewrite notes and rewrite keywords that will stick in your memory. In uni, you can have your laptops out in class or iPads out in class and take notes that way. If you think that works for you, then do that. I feel like with that, there's a temptation to not listen and to just type or go on different browsers and go. Me and my friend, we sit next to each other, and sometimes she has her laptop out, so sometimes we'll just end up on ASOS, and it's just like, and when you're taking notes, you actually have to listen more, because you have to catch what's important and exactly what you want to make note of, and then make note of it. Whereas with laptops, a lot of people who actually do make notes with laptops, they write everything. This notebook actually is for my essays. It's actually for like, it's where I write like what I picked for my essay, the question, and I write like my key points, and then like with my last essay, I wrote like research bits that I was finding that I was going to reference. If your course has a lot of essays, maybe get yourself an essay book where you can write essay plans and essay research, and the book is just dedicated to like essay plans, essay research. And when it comes to you referencing and comes to you saying where you got your ideas from, or comes to you going back to those websites, you have like a whole book of where you just know all your ideas and everything. So that is the end of my revision video. I really hope it was helpful because it had been so long awaited, so if it wasn't helpful, that will suck. But I hope it was helpful, and if it was, give it a big thumbs up and drop me a comment down below any other school videos you guys want me to do, because I know you guys love my school videos and I love doing school videos. Honestly, doing school videos gives me so much motivation to behave myself in school, so I would love to do as many more as you guys want me to do. And yeah, so please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment, because I would love to chat with you. And yeah, sixth form babies, update me. How's sixth form going? Update me, I want to know. I've been getting quite a few emails as the term has gone on, and I want to say thank you for the emails. I want to say chin up to all of you, because as the term goes on, it will get harder, and there will be times where you feel like you can't do it, but you can. You need to just believe in yourself, because a lot of other people won't. And I've said this before, if other people are against you and you're against you, life is going to seem impossible. Just give yourself a moment to realise that you're clever enough and you're worth doing well, and get up and go to class and be fleeky and make them notes and pass them exams, because you can. So I will see you guys in my next video, and I really, really love you guys, and I will see you later. And I feel like I'm talking for ages. Bye.
Greetings, hi, the War Owl greets you, and welcome to a very special video. And I say special because I don't think I've ever done a video like this before, where I just sit here unedited, raw, and talk to you little guys a little bit about what's going on in Counter-Strikey stuff, or anything for that matter. So this time, obviously, the big thing going on is that the changes made in the winter update to the rifles and the pistols have been rolled back. Now, that's huge. There's all this controversy going around. You guys probably all saw my video talking about the recent update and the revolver and everything that happened, and the rifle changes. Originally, I thought the rifle changes were moving the wrong direction. However, the pistol changes, even though they probably could have been ironed out a little bit better than they were, that instead of just blanket carpet bombing, they were doubling all of the inaccuracy of all of them, could have been handled much better. I still think that the pistols kind of made sense, so I was okay with that. But the rifle one was the big one. I think everybody can agree with that. They recently posted a blog post. By the way, guys, if you followed me on Twitter, I wouldn't have to make this video because I tweeted about it. And I said, go look at the thing. So follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/TheWarOwl. I think that's what it is. Anyway, they have a little blog post out here. I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to read it here live and give you my live reaction to the stuff that's coming out here about this change. I bet everyone's just like right now going, yeah, who didn't know about the change, who, or rather didn't know that they changed it back, and they were like, oops, my bad, are probably very happy right now because this was not a popular change. Most people, the vast majority of people were very upset. I don't know if anybody actually supported the change. I don't know if there's any voice out there who was like, yeah, rifle nerf, more inaccuracy, more randomness to the game. Anyway, they called it recovery time, which I love. Recovery time, because of course that's the change they made to the rifles, but it's also a fun little, they got to recover from this little mistake that they made. So they said, we made some adjustments to the rifles recently, and those changes have been causing a lot of pain in the Counter-Strike community. These poor guys, I feel so bad for the developers if they just turned on Reddit and seen the vitriol being spewed at them or looked at JonTron's Twitter feed. I feel so bad for them because they really are working to try to make this game great. Just like we want the game to be great, they're not antagonists in this story. They need to work with us, though. The pain was the result of a few mistakes we made. Admitting their mistakes, that's nice. And while we usually prefer to avoid disrupting conversations happening in the community, we wanted to talk about some of the thinking that led to the recent changes as well as our plan for moving forward. So this is damage control, ladies and gentlemen. They probably need some damage changes on some of the weapons. Actually, I'm fine. I was fine with Counter-Strike. Like, my personal opinion, I thought it was balanced and I thought it was great. I didn't think any of the changes really needed to be made, but I can see how tweaking it, if they want to try to improve the game, it was fine for me, though. I didn't think it needed to be changed at all. But I do like this, that Valve, they exist in the shadows, right? They're there. They're watching. I think some of them even see my videos, because some of the things they've done have directly related to stuff I've talked about in my videos, which is awesome that there's that kind of an interaction. So if you're watching, hi, guys. Thanks for making this game that I have wasted my life playing. I haven't gone outside in weeks, man. Years. I've been doing this for years now. Goodness. Anyway, thank you guys. I was going to say keep up the good work, but based on this last one, how about this? We'll work together. We'll work together. We'll make it happen. We'll make it. All right, so why change the rifles at all? So this is their explanation as to why they did it originally. In CSGO, spraying is generally considered the most popular way of firing a rifle. Yes, that is because the vast majority of players are not great at the game. And that is part of the game being so difficult to learn and master. And just it being a great game that has so much depth to it. Spraying is the easiest way to fire them. So I would assume that a vast majority of players just spray every time using the weapons. They spray and pray. It says, we can see this pretty clearly in the rifle data that we collect internally, and it's something we hear the community discussing frequently. By the way, I would like to point out that spraying is more viable in 64-tick servers, and it's very possible that they're collecting this data only from the 64-tick servers and not from 128-tick servers, where you can land an accurate tap. 64-tick servers, they're not good enough for the top level of competition where you're going to be using those advanced techniques. That's my opinion on it, and I think that may have been what skewed their data and caused them to change it around. Moving on. Because we think it's valuable for players to have choices when they're thinking about how to engage an opponent, I don't think anybody ever thinks about that, though. When you're engaging an opponent, you just do. You have prepared. You have practiced. You know your technique. Anyway, we looked at ways to make tapping, bursting a bit more appealing. The hope was that by encouraging more deliberate firing, we would add something skillful that the player could use to their advantage. 128-tick servers, more people want to tap and burst. Also, if a change needed to be made to try to encourage that, maybe improving the precision of the weapons, the AK-47 and the M4. They're not super precise. Sometimes you go for the tap, you know you're right on them, but you still don't hit the shot. So maybe making it easier to actually land that headshot would improve the people wanting to tap shoot with it. So as a first step forward, this goal... Wait. Oh, as a first step toward this goal, I apologize, I read it improperly there. We're not editing this. This is going in. We increased recovery time for the AK-47, M4A4, and M4A1S. For a detailed breakdown of the... Oh, he has links to something, a community post on Reddit. They do read Reddit. I feel so bad. I had to stop reading Reddit because they're just nasty people over there. Anyway, unfortunately, our implementation failed in a few ways. For one thing, increasing inaccuracy while spraying also comes with reduced accuracy for all forms of firing. Well, yes, obviously. Proportionally, spraying was the most impacted, and we underestimated the impact that this chain would have on players who were already firing in short bursts. I don't think the change was that great for that, and I think it did impact spraying, but I don't think that the change was ever needed in the first place because it creates randomness. Anyways, as it turns out, the adjustments didn't achieve either goal. Our rifle data shows players in all skill groups are still spraying more than tapping or bursting. Yes, because they are noobs. Oh, he said in all skill groups, so they're looking at the global league. But still, the same as that. Yeah, we went over that stuff anyway. Okay. Spraying is not actually, and I know I've been saying noob, noob, noob the whole time, spraying is not a newbie way to fire the gun. Because you have to learn the spray patterns, and the more predictable the spray patterns are, if you see it doing a certain pattern or it's going a specific way, like it does in Counter-Strike CSGO, where it kind of goes the exact same way every single time with a little bit of variance to it, there's a lot of skill that goes into memorizing and learning how to do those sprays and incorporating the movement into it at the same time. It is really difficult, and it has a real high skill ceiling to it in terms of spraying. So there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with spraying as a mechanic. I don't think it's just like, that's newbie, let's do bursting more. Even though I will tend to do the bursting and tap shooting at the longer distances, even close range sometimes. A lot of people spraying, and certain play styles are different. For example, Get Right. That guy always sprays. He sprays up close. He strafes back and forth. He's got it going because he has learned, he has taken the time to figure out the spray patterns and how it works to be able to predict where those rounds are going. And just increasing your damage per second at the expense of a little bit of possible accuracy sometimes can be a big benefit. And it is in Counter-Strike Global Offensive in particular. So they say, what's next? So there's nothing wrong with spraying. He said, what's next? It's difficult to measure the impact on gameplay when too much changes at once. Wait, I read this wrong. I'm an idiot. It's difficult to measure the impact on gameplay when too much changes at once. No, that's proper. I read it right. My brain interpreted it wrong. Anyway, the winter update came with some really huge changes to gameplay, including a new weapon, an adjustment to pistols, and the rifle changes. Since we likely changed too much too quickly, you think? In today's update, we're rolling back both the rifle and pistol adjustments to their pre-winter update states. Honestly, guys, I think that we need to think a little bit more about the pistol changes as well, because the Tech 9, even after the changes, you can still spray and pray with it just fine. And the one-tap accuracy on the P2000 and all those other weapons being nerfed, it hurts those weapons even more. The Glock was already completely impossible to use. This just made it even worse, because the Glock was a weapon where you try to get up close and personal and spray it. Because of it, just increasing that kind of made it even more difficult to use. So maybe doing a little bit more to the Tech 9 and a little bit less to the Glock, for example. That's one example. Maybe it would have been a better idea instead of just a blanket ×2 to all the values or half all the values that they did. Just think about it a little bit more. We failed to anticipate the reaction of the community to changes in such heavy use weapons. And heavy use like the AK-40 freaking 7. And we clearly need to reevaluate our process of making and communicating about changes in that space. Yes, and I want to touch on that in just a second because I've been pitching an idea over and over again, and I think we're going to get that now because it seems like we're headed in that direction. Sorry about the movements and stuff. I'm excited. I'm doing a vlog, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like if you... Whoa! I hope that didn't affect the microphone. It's like an earthquake went on in here. I think the camera got messed up. Anyway. I bet if you tied my arms to the desk, I wouldn't be able to speak anymore. All right. We failed to anticipate the reaction of the community to changes in such heavy... I already read that. We're constantly reading community feedback. I'm sorry. And while we don't often respond directly, understanding the community is one of the most important aspects of working on CSGO. Mistakes happen, but when they do, we're committed to making sure they get fixed. Well, thank you, guys. That actually makes a lot of sense. I hope that will reassure a bunch of people that the developers are on the same team as us. But yeah, I felt when I saw that they rolled everything back, I was like, that's good for the game. But at the same time, I thought, aw, because they tried something and they had to pull back because of the community reaction. I'm sure a bunch of community people are celebrating as a result of that. Like, yeah, that'll show them. But again, I still think it's a community effort. The community provides the feedback. It seems like, and I was gonna say, Valve has been paying a lot of close attention, not to, or as far as I can see, is not to what people say, but rather what their data shows them. They do a lot of data mining. They do a lot of statistical analysis. I have a little bit of a background in that area. I'd just like to put that out there. I probably shouldn't say the companies that I've worked for, but yes, I have a little bit of background in that area. In fact, when I was in college, my senior, the thesis thingy, wasn't a thesis, whatever you call it, had to do with data mining. And I worked for one of the biggest, if I said the name, you would know what companies that did that stuff. But anyway, I don't think that you can rely just on that data, especially considering you're just looking at the matchmaking values. I don't think it's going to be that reliable. I think the most reliable thing is going to be feedback directly from people who know what they're talking about. And there's a lot of really smart people who go over these numbers, who do their own experiments and figure this stuff out. And I think they should be included in that process beyond just lurking on Reddit and reading their threads. What I've been suggesting for a long time is making a public test build. So I think Dota 2 has one, so it's obviously within their abilities. It's not beyond their limitations, and I think it would make a lot of sense, because then they could push these changes as sort of a test. It's a fun little test environment, right? They've come up and they said, all right, here's our crazy, wacky idea. Let's change all the pistols. All right, they throw that out there. People see it. People react to it. Now, I could see why they wouldn't do it in the Counter-Strike community in particular, because Counter-Strike community, it tends to be completely opposed to any form of change whatsoever. So they decide to make these changes, they push it out there, and everyone goes, bleh, and then they still push them through because they think it's a good idea. People will be really, really mad and say, oh, Valve didn't listen to us. But I think it's best to just ignore that kind of stuff, because it's good to have that feedback. It's good to have these people look over this stuff beforehand so that messes like this and all of the other weapon messes that we've had do not happen. Now, all the other weapon messes have eventually been fixed over time, but it causes this big controversy and all this nastiness, and have to roll everything back and change the values. We had the week where the Deagle was super overpowered. It was a 2-hit kill to the chest, very reminiscent of the revolver. We had the week where the auto shotty was ridiculously overpowered and everybody used it in matchmaking, which was hilarious. It would be best to not have this stuff go live. It would be best to not test these things in production while there's people trying to play the game and enjoy it. Maybe this is the only weekend they get to play, and they get to play during the weekend where everybody's using a revolver in deathmatch, and it's ridiculous. That's no fun. People aren't going to like that, and there's tournaments going on as well. You have to consider that and be like, but at least provide a way for them to roll it back so that the tournaments don't have to use the new settings that they just push out. But yeah. If you have it, and people will do it. People will definitely do the test build, the beta build, or whatever you want to call it, because it gives you a leg up. If you see some changes to the AK-47, for example, everybody's going to want to jump in there and try out the AK-47 and get ahead and get that knowledge so they can stay ahead of the curve. It's a great idea to do that, for example. And a lot of people want to give their own feedback. They can make their own method for interaction, for feedback from that. I just think it would be a great idea to test these things out. People will find the bugs. There were tons of bugs that were released in this as well. People found them very quickly, within 24 hours. So just leverage. Yeah, Valve, you got an army of nerds who want to help out, who want this game to be awesome. Use us. We're here. We're ready. We're the same as you guys. We're doing other things. That, I'm not doing other things. I'm doing Counter-Strike. But it's like, we have PhDs. We have degrees. We have played games our whole lives. We know how to do the numbers. We can help. There's a ton of people who want to help out. I don't have a PhD, though. I was just, as an example, I'm sure some people out there do. Anyway. Thank you folks very much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more of these types of videos where I just kind of blabber for 15 minutes. I'm the War Owl, and I still have no closer. Don't ya hate when they put jump cuts in a